And we're live. Tour date time. None of us have any. Okay, let's get to the show.
Let's get to the podcast. All right.
I have two shows tonight, which is actually last night. If you're listening to this on the day it was released, but you're probably not. So it was like last week or maybe a year ago, because who knows when you're listening to this. I have no tour dates for the rest of 2020. I'm gonna go.
Hypothetically, if they were
Arizona.
listening to this in the future, where
Yeah.
would they find your tour dates if anyone ever let you be a comedian again?
If you follow me on any of the apps, I post them all. But CoryMichaelis.com, spelled Michael, I-S, spelled C-O-R-Y. God, it's really hard to find me. I don't even know how anybody follows me. It's difficult. But
Well, not a lot of people do. So
Yeah, a lot of people have lost the ability to find themselves after quarantine. Yeah.
and that is our guest of the evening, Alvin Williams. Say hi, Alvin.
Hello, everybody.
Do you have any tour dates you want to promote here?
I do. I will be performing at Kodo Brewery in Twin Falls, Idaho on December 11th and 12th.
Fancy.
Yeah. Never been. So looking forward to it. That's my.
You never been to Twin Falls?
No, I've never been to Kodo Brewery, but I've heard
okay.
it was awesome. So I'm looking forward to being in front of people one more time before this year ends. But you said that people might see this in the future. Did you say people might see this in the future?
Yeah. I mean, they might come. I mean, we're not planning on quitting anytime soon, but you know.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I'm super happy about this second tour that I've done.
yeah.
This international tour that I just got through, like it's been wild, man. I never saw it coming 2
man.
years ago.
Crazy. Wow, and that Netflix special was a huge get for you. Who knew that was coming?
Who knew?
Yeah. Who knew? We knew because we're talking about it in the future already.
Yes.
I'm going to be at Bricktown Comedy Club again, maybe, but it's going to be opening for John B. Christ and or Christ, maybe. I don't know if I just want to say it Christ because he's a Christian guy, but
Chris, who's freaking amazing, by the way.
It's all sold out already, so you can't come. But you know.
So.
But I'm around, so let's go.
Cool. 3-second pause. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Andrew Didn't Fuck.
Hey, I would call her daddy, but she won't call me back.
Just kidding. This is Home Skool, your favorite podcast with two dorky comedians and a guest.
Oh, actually, it was fast. Twitter has just disputed this claim. They say it is nobody's favorite podcast. So
I was hoping that we were close.
It's really rude.
All right. Andrew and Cory, we're joined by Alvin Williams in this episode number 18, or if you're in Washington, week 1 of the second lockdown. And if you're in North Dakota, week 1 of the coronavirus pandemic. I just found out, apparently.
It's crazy.
It takes longer for things to get out there, you know. They just got cargo shorts and 8-tracks last month, so.
Wow. They got meth ahead of schedule, but, you know, wait till I hear who is president in 2008. It'll be a real shocker for them.
If you're new to the podcast, turn up the volume so you can hear us over your ventilator and sit back and let us with these jokes.
Yeah, since the first lockdown, we've written about 5 pages of jokes a week, and I've stolen most of them for my new stand-up special, and now I don't have an act again. So we want to try to write jokes every week and share them on the podcast with you, and sometimes we're going to write bad ones, but we like to blame those on our ghostwriter, Phil Kopczynski.
Oh, yeah. But writing a joke is sort of like taking a selfie, right? You got to have 1,000 ugly tries of bad ones before you get 3 worth posting, you know?
Yeah.
Which is not even a problem for us because we never get 3 worth posting, so we just post them.
That's also why we don't let Phil on the Zoom call, because he is ugly.
I just want to point out your coronavirus special was fire, so it was worth
thank
it.
you. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's great. Good news also on the, that's good news. There's also good news on the vaccine front, you guys. Moderna says it can vaccine folks at a 94% effective rate. Take that, Pfizer, in your face.
Hey, we don't need to get into a dick measuring contest. 90% is perfectly average for most guys.
Anti-vaxxers, there's a lot of them coming out of the woodwork. They're also the same people as the anti-maskers, which is interesting. So silver lining is a lot of them won't make it through all of this.
It's not bad. It's actually, they deserve it a little bit.
They won't make it.
I mean, if I was a famous comic, I'd get canceled for that. But hey,
Yeah.
even Sweden is banning gatherings of more than 8 people, or the amount it takes to put together an IKEA desk, whichever is more. So 32 people.
Really? There's no way that's true.
Seriously? Is that what you... Okay.
Here, just let me do one more and I'll finish.
Finish. Oh, that's clever. Great. Super. Awesome. Please.
I'm not gonna make it through this like in a good way.
We have time. We can afford it. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I'm back.
All right. Thank you.
Andrew, you're in Los
Wait,
Angeles.
do you want to blame Phil for those jokes, or you want to take credit there, Cory?
I wrote this. Andrew, I'm in Appleton, Wisconsin. You're in Los Angeles this week, though, against orders. What's up with
Yeah,
that?
well, it's not an official order. They didn't say you can't travel. They just said, please don't. So,
Well, since when have you let the words "please don't" stop you?
Well, every time with sex,
Okay.
but way less with everything else.
I see. Don't you kind of worry that you might be like asymptomatic and have it or something?
I mean, I'm 35. Like, that's still a healthy range. Like, I'm not saying I'm old, but it's the first year I remember my bones making this much noise, Like, I can predict a storm with my right leg, so I think I'm going to know if I get coronavirus, as much as I want to pretend I'm the spitting image of health.
Yes, thank you, leg.
Do you think, second, that comics have a natural immunity to the virus?
I wonder about that, because
with
traveling, also
Yeah.
just making out with random people after every show, but...
Yeah. I was on cruise ships for like when it was really starting to hit the US, and I did not change anything for 3 months, and I felt like I might have superpowers now when I'm on land.
Let's jump out your hotel room window and see what happens.
They don't let you open them far enough to jump out. I tried.
No, that's extra now. They know you're trying to end it away from your house for the insurance purposes, so they're like, no.
We don't want to be in charge of cleanup. That's what's going on.
I leave a tip for the maid before I jump out the window. What did you say? Oh, spitting image. Did you know it's a sex term?
Spitting image is a sex term? What's a spitting image?
It's when a girl sends you a picture of her camel toe.
No. It does look exactly like it's named, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, so nice. God gave it to her twice, right?
Yeah. Camel's a really good analogy because most women that date me can go years without moisture.
Yeah. But good thing.
I like having Alvin on he laughs at everything, so he's a permanent guest now.
you know how funny I find both of you all. So like, this is gonna be a problem for me. Like, I'm gonna be sweating in this thing.
We have that effect. You got more moisture than the women Andrew dates.
Hey.
But camels love.
I'm bald, man. Like nothing catches it. It's like I can't holler at women in the club.
Goes right to the eyebrows.
Yeah, straight there.
Is Andrew? You're with your family on this trip, right? Like, are they worried? Don't you think you should like take proper precautions, or like, what do you? I
mean, hey, if my brother didn't want coronavirus, maybe he shouldn't have hit me in the face with a baseball bat when I was 12. So
I should have thought about that. You had those Nostradamus powers we have about Alvin's special.
Yep.
Is that where all your brain damage comes from? By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did he invite you down? Like,
Because he has small children at home. He's perfectly fine with dying, or at least getting a fancy vacation in a hospital.
Okay.
But hey, please go to YouTube, watch my special. If you're listening to a podcast and you don't know how to Google my YouTube channel, then I don't know how to put together a sequence of words that will help you. But it's just about to pass 12,000 views, so that's very exciting. Appreciate it.
The same rate as COVID in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Hey, question for you two.
Yeah.
Is it better to have never had the coronavirus at all, or to have had it and then you're over it? Like, what's more attractive to the opposite sex, in your opinion?
Is it better to have loved and lost than never lost at all? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm asking, like, is it like, oh, he's super
I hear they give
cautious,
you like
he never
there's
caught
like
it,
mental
or-
diseases and there's like blood clots and stuff like that. So I don't want to. I'd rather not fuck with it, but
Yeah.
long term. But for your question, like last night, a woman after the show, she used it kind of as her pickup line. She's like, "Hey, I've already had COVID," so, and I was like, "Oh,
Right. I mean, it's gonna come up.
I mean, yeah, I'm not anti-vaxxer, so I'll be first in line to take this thing whenever they approve it, and
See, that's my issue.
microchip me.
I'm not anti-vaxxer either, but like I'm anti-first trial. Like I don't want to be first.
Well,
in
the
line
first
for
trial has
that.
already happened. They started infecting those people back in like October.
in
so.
your neighborhood, but you
Yeah,
know, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is
before they come out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're not going to be the first people to get it anyway. It's going to go to old people, or I think you
I
have
get
to
that
have a
surprise
your
drop.
Netflix special didn't come out in time for you to get first trial.
Idaho is pretty close to the Dakotas, so it's gonna be a while." But yeah, anyway, so I don't know. In terms of dating, I don't know this. I was surprised when she said, I was like, "Oh, I have lots of other reasons that I'm not gonna hang out with you," but yeah, good for you for already having it, I guess. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah. So neither one of you all have had it yet, right?
That we know of. No.
Yeah.
I'm kind of.
I mean, I've gotten tested a couple times, but
like the excuse. I don't know if I like, even if I don't have it, like everybody's got one "I came down with COVID" excuse that they can use to get out of anything, but you can only do it once.
Yeah.
So really, is this worth it? Is this
do you
worth
want to save it?
my...
Do you want to get COVID and then wait to show the positive test for like?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, how do you want to play it? Like, if there's some major event that you just don't want to be a part of.
Honey, I know it's our
use it.
anniversary, but I have COVID, so I just can't do that. I'm so sorry.
If you're traveling, like I had COVID, I forgot.
Didn't both your grandmas die this week? Oh yeah, that's right. You watched this special. You're one of the 12,000 views. That's wild. That's
Hell yeah.
Well, that's only 20 million less views than your last special, Andrew. So go watch it. And do it soon, because these jokes have a pretty short shelf life. They're going to disappear by Easter.
Yeah, like magic. You wouldn't believe it.
Right. Well, what's in the news? A study says people with dogs are more likely to get coronavirus because dogs will let anybody pet them. And they're more social creatures, and they're going to bring it back to their owners. Like, cats stay away from people, but would gladly give you coronavirus if they knew that it would kill you.
Yeah. So the safest Tinder date is with the crazy cat ladies because they stay indoors, She hasn't left the house since before the coronavirus.
Yeah.
I don't feel like... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, they're just especially perfect for Andrew because they're used to being ignored for days at a time when he just leaves town.
Hey, I will ghost you and then complain about it. But hey, there is a battle in America between North and South right now, but don't get your Confederate flag panties in a bunch. I'm talking about who has the worst coronavirus outbreak, North or South Dakota. Neck and neck. Right now, North Dakota is in the lead with 775 deaths in a population of 770,000. So, not good.
Sounds small. That's not great. Confederate flag panties. Now there's some underwear that we should be burning, right?
My dick will rise again. Man, there's another outbreak in Michigan going on. Gonorrhea infections are up 22% this year, and there's a lack of testing equipment because it's all being used for COVID. Sounds like some people aren't social distancing.
That's a swing state, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a swinger state.
There you go.
I don't know about social distance. Speak for yourself. Some of us can hit it from 6 feet away, huh?
Tell Brad Upton to go long.
Go long.
Oh, God. Another outbreak. Time to shut down the middle schools again.
Oh, boy. That's something to laugh about.
Hey, the final round of the Masters golf tournament was this week and was the lowest rated in history. That's what happens when you make sports political.
Wait, the Masters wasn't really political at all. What are you talking about?
No, I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just assumed it's golf. There's got to be White Lives Matter painted somewhere.
Well, Dustin Johnson won, so we know the after party was all white.
I don't get it. Did Tiger, because Tiger Woods something, or I don't know.
Oh, no. DJ loves cocaine.
Oh, all right. DJ Junior. All right.
Both DJs.
Yeah, DJ. Well, hey, according to the FBI, there were more hate crimes this year than in any year since 2008, which is an interesting tidbit. I wonder what was going on back then. Can't think of anything that would.
I got an idea.
Yeah. I do too. I just didn't.
If this is his supporters standing down and standing by, I'd hate to see what it looks like when they're actually mad.
Call Bart. Get me in the bomb shelter.
Harry Styles. This joke should have got deleted. Harry Styles is on the cover of Vogue wearing a dress. Made people really pissed off. A lot of those same people who were committing hate crimes were really angry, which is crazy. His last name's Styles. What do you expect? He's gonna wear a dress at some point.
Yeah. Hey, I heard mouthwash can kill coronavirus in the mouth, which is great. You know, that's bad news. Another thing North Dakota doesn't believe in: oral hygiene.
Mouthwash curing coronavirus scares me because it feels like Donald Trump was like kind of close. Mouthwash?
I don't know. You know? He certainly attempted it enough that he was bound to get close. You know, even a orange squirrel finds a nut twice a week, or I don't know. The broken clock is. We couldn't think of an analogy in time, but
we were supposed to ask you for help with that analogy before we started, but we forgot. So.
Yep.
Trump, heard of him? He officially lost the election for the third week in a row. Can't wait to make it officially official in 2022, or I don't know when we're going to find out.
Hey, losing isn't so bad because he'll still get that coveted participation trophy wife.
Thanksgiving is this week, and every year the president pardons a turkey. This year, Trump is just going to pardon himself.
Same thing. But he's going to keep basting himself with whatever it is that makes him that color.
Peru, they got their third president in 1 week, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Can't decide on one. Congress voted to get rid of the popular leader and replace him with a rice farmer, who then resigned 5 days later because his cabinet all quit and protests turned violent. His replacement, who wrote a book called Democracy and Good Governance, stepped in, and he's trying to stop the violence and create stability. And in America, we might not have a peaceful transfer of power because, let me check my notes. Oh, someone fairly won the election.
You needed notes for that part. That's interesting.
It's hard to remember.
Hey, sounds like a nice country. What are Peru's COVID numbers? Are they allowing stand-up?
Espanol, I just came, if they are. Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence says we are rounding the corner, but he also said we were rounding the corner on COVID a month ago and also 2 months ago, proving that time is a circle and COVID's like a NASCAR race.
I thought Pence hated NASCAR. I mean, he's always trying to get people to stay straight.
Trump is still refusing to concede the presidential election and hoping to win it in the courts. So far, he's won one lawsuit out of 32.
Good numbers. Yeah, he's like a receiver who just dropped the Hail Mary pass and is looking around for a flag. Come, interfered with. Everybody's, what are you doing?
I didn't even get off the ground. 8 guys knocked it down. Where's the flag?
Let's throw the flag.
Wave the white flag. How about that?
Hey, better than the Confederate flag.
It's kind of weird that Trump just announces all of his plans, don't you think? Because
I feel like we got too used to that. Like, he was just tweeting every day, like, I'm going to stop funding the post office to create huge delays because mail-in ballots are a scam. Also, vote for me, but only do it in person because the China virus is a hoax. Anyway, you can't count those ballots until after mine, and any that come in late, those aren't good. Also, I refuse to commit to a peaceful transition of power. Like, hey, buddy, you're not supposed to tweet that stuff out. You're supposed to keep it secret, you know?
You're
fucking idiot.
You're just, you know what I mean? That's like if Dr. Evil was like, here's the plan. I'm going to build a death ray on the moon. No big deal. I have a secret lair in the mountains. I sent you the GPS coordinates on Twitter. Once my time machine is finished being built, I'll go back in time and steal Austin Powers' mojo.
Imagine if Hitler had a Twitter account, just all caps, round up the Jews.
Wait, what? How many Jews?
Stop the count, Hitler.
Stop the count.
He's that's the difference between him and Hitler. They don't like to round up. Something there. Hey, President Obama's book came out. You think you're gonna read that, Cory?
I don't know, man. It's 800 pages.
800 pages, Jesus! They must have typed out his pauses. Can't wait for the audiobook. It'll last 2 terms.
Nice.
Rudy Giuliani was sweating out his hair dye in the middle of a press conference. Guess we know where all those White House leaks are coming from, huh?
The calls are coming inside the head.
When asked if his hair was dyed, Giuliani responded, "Did you say dyed? Yes, 3,000 people on 9/11.
A noun, a verb, and 9/11. Giuliani constantly brings up 9/11, and his hair dye is from 7-Eleven, so that's interesting.
Dr. Fauci said Santa Claus is immune to coronavirus. Do you think it's responsible to be giving kids that kind of fake news?
What, that Santa Claus is real?
No. That the coronavirus is real.
Oh, well, don't be worried. He's got Santa bodies.
Whoa, Norway. That's the
all right.
Jokes. We don't. Do we have a sponsor this? Oh, we do have a sponsor this week. 7-Eleven.
Hey,
Called,
those Slurpees. Fantastic.
Alvin or Cory and Michaelis, you can just go paint your hair on with 7-Eleven's hair dye made by the wonderful. What did you say? Made by the wonderful people. What are their drinks? Jesus, I lost it.
Slushies.
Slushies.
Slushy,
big gulp.
Slurpee, yeah.
Big gulp.
Big
Big
gulp.
gulp. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. Well.
Should have taken notes on that one, Cory.
Real dead. Hey, speaking of specials,
Alvin Williams has a special.
You have a special that just came out.
Yeah, man.
I watched it.
Oh, you already watched? Okay, cool.
I already watched it. Great, enjoyable. I love the theme. It's called, what is it? We're Gonna Get Better, or It's Gonna Get Better?
It's Gonna Get Better is the name of it.
There you go.
Is it gonna get better? Are you from the future?
Hey, man, listen here. I filmed that a year ago, and I really had no idea what was coming around the bend. Like, none. I did not know. This is the only time in history something's become more marketable a year later in comedy, because it just wasn't as relevant at the time. People did not want to hear that like a year ago, but now they really want to hear It's Gonna Get Better.
Oh,
that's
and
funny.
It worked out for me. Yeah.
Now, did you wait a year to put it out? Were you like, let me wait until shit's really bad and then they'll want me? Like,
You know, it was supposed to come out in June. That was our initial release date. And we waited, and then Amazon was like, hey, your content's under review. And I was like, okay, why? And they said, we can't tell you, but your content is under review. And
You're
so
black.
yeah. I don't know if you saw the preview, but the preview had Black Lives Matter jokes in it.
Oh.
And we were like, did they watch the special or did they watch
just watch that clip?
No.
The timing isn't right for this, but
yeah.
They never knew what was under review.
Yeah, they never told us. Just all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, we got you a new release date. Congratulations."
Well, hey, that's a best case result, I guess.
All's well that ends well, I guess. Yeah.
It worked out well. It's like anybody who had filmed something when I had filmed something last year, that's already been out. You know, people weren't able to film new things, so it kind of gave me an audience to myself, which was awesome. But I mean, the waiting for it and not knowing what it was, because I'm like, I said a lot of offensive stuff. So is this it? Is this the thing? Because I thought it was going to be the other thing, and it was. Yeah. It worked out really well. I like during the initial process. There were other Black Lives Matter jokes in it, and I was like, no, let's cut that out because I feel like that won't come up anytime soon. I literally said that. I had no idea.
We're past.
Yeah.
That.
Look, racism's over. It's gonna be fine.
No, that's how. I mean, at the time, there were just a lot of things that were on the horizon that I didn't think that the Black Lives Matter movement would rise up again the way that it did, because it had been going on for years. And I thought, I was like, you know what? I think we've turned the corner, guys. I think we did it. And I'm like, you know, keep this in, but let's get rid of that. I made a joke about Black people not being able to jog at night or in the daytime, and this is before anything happened.
Wow.
Yeah, but I've been Black a long time, so I knew. Yeah. So I would just comment.
When did you become Black? Is there a time period?
It turns out. That part right there, it was like, whoa, if I kept that in, we're looking at a whole different, like, maybe I don't have a release date. It's not my fault.
Did any of the
you got to put bonus clips on YouTube or something?
You're right. I'm gonna do that. There will be bonus clips of deleted scenes from that.
Yes. On the other end of the spectrum, was there any material that kind of like was dated or you know, like kind of like did
yes
or like less sense or?
Well, the opening scene is you, a stranger, just running up to you, and you're also, you know, in a huge sold out comedy show. So a lot of that is like, this was filmed a long time ago.
Right. So if people aren't paying attention, though, it looks like I am anti-mask and like I'm just sticking it to the man, and you know that's a whole nother audience. You know, there's no way.
We
to
like
go
this
wrong.
guy. He's one of us.
Yeah, there's something about him I don't know. There's also something about him I don't like. But there's something about him I like. No, there was a bit that I did, and it's the only bit that stands out to me, where I was talking about, ironically, coming back from the future and talking to people in the present. And I said, if you're from 2019 going back to 1989, that's the only thing. Other than that, you would think that I did it like a month ago.
I see. Yeah. That's funny.
So I mean, a year ago I was brilliant and saw the future, but now I'm like favorably relevant.
Position on masks. Not sure about skin color. I do like. I like he's bald with a beard. That's similar to me. Hey, we got a special guest.
Oh, my niece Hazel. Do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Do you think I'm funny?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh man.
Well, I paid her.
I was supposed to. I was really excited to watch the release party and be a part of the release party in Moscow. I think they call it Moscow.
Yeah. Yeah. Moscow.
Driving into town,
That's where they're counting the votes.
Got over.
Oh. Yeah.
And the sun was out and shining. It was beautiful, and I was ready to check in. Well, not ready to check in, but go to the hotel where we were both staying and have a little get together. And damn, COVID got us again.
Stage 2 hit as he was on the road. As he was on the road driving, to the gig, cross country.
I never thought Idaho would actually, shut down like that. That's what the surprising part was.
That's what Cory said. Cory was like, this is serious now when the red states start doing this.
Okay, we're not saying we were wrong, but we're gonna make a few changes.
I mean, can the stages, can we just be real? Like this is weighted. Like a stage 2 in Idaho is like a stage -2 in New York. Like be real about it. It's the honors program and double honors program.
It's definitely it's definitely relative for sure, but no, I mean, because we haven't had live shows allowed the whole time. Now,
well, we had them for like a month, and then
it wasn't supposed to be though. It was
it was a technicality.
Well, the governor didn't do a good job of specifying everything. So restaurants. Live venues that had restaurants were like, well, we have a restaurant's license. And you said restaurants can be open. So, and then 3 weeks later, he was like, shit, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I didn't mean that. I meant doing live
he saw me headline Tacoma Comedy Club and he's like, we can't have this happening. This is unacceptable.
COVID for this?
Northern Idaho, people looked at me like I was a jerk for wearing a mask. When I walked into places, it would be nobody was wearing a mask, and I had one on, and I'm the rude person for bringing reality into the mix. It was different.
I can kind of understand someone being like, I don't know, I don't really want to do this, or I don't like it, or I can kind of get that. But then to give you shit for doing it, that's right. That's their insecurity. It's like when you have a friend who's like, I don't want to be married. I just like being single. I love the single life. It's so great. It's really healthy for my life. And their married friends judging them and talking shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just not secure in your decision.
That's all that is. I was outside of a place where they weren't wearing masks. There was a priest outside on the street not wearing a mask. Oh, man. It's like weird flex, but okay. I'm like, come on, man, we need you.
That's wild. Somebody today on Instagram, and it's funny because I know she saw it and she didn't reply, and she was posting a video, and it was a multiple stories on her Instagram story of it was Biden without a mask on at a birthday party, because his birthday was last week, and it was a bunch of people without masks, and she's like, this is who you want to be president. He's going to shut the country down. He's hanging out, celebrating his birthday without a mask. Can you believe this shit? And I was like, this doesn't seem right. So I looked it up, and it was last year.
Of course it was. Yeah. He was at my special.
I messed up. Yeah. Just so you know, this was actually last year. She tweeted out this year and said in the tweet, hey, it was last year. But and she didn't respond, and I bet you, let's see if she left it up. I'm going to go with, I bet she left it up.
I mean, I think she's real concerned about the truth.
Huh. Oh, she took it down. She didn't reply. Took it down.
Hey, there you go.
That's almost better, is just to be like, I'm an idiot. I'm going to just delete this and go away.
Yeah.
Man. When I've been promoting this thing, I had that Black Lives Matter joke that we were talking about is online, and MAGA is out. They're commenting nonstop, and the producer was like, we need to take this down. I was like, leave it up, leave it, because because I promise you they did not listen to the joke,
right?
Who were posting. Anybody who listens to that joke, this is exactly what I was talking about in the joke is what's happening on the feed. So they're not hurting it, right. It's insane.
Also, the negative comments and stuff, that's still a comment. That's still
right.
Boost the post up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're still doing it. I'm like, there's no way I ever would have reached this audience. This is how it's done. I like how you handle it. you have a ton of positive stuff, because like your last stuff like had millions of views, and like there'd be one hater here or there, and you would actually pop in and be like, hey, what can you do?
I've gotten a few on this one too, and I mean, like one or two comments are like, "Oh man, he bombed," and I'm like, "Oh, my voices on the inside are talking to me," like. But one guy I go, "Hey, thanks for watching, but not really paying attention. Appreciate that." And then, but what I did is, I started just I went through my Instagram DMs basically. I went back like 100 weeks so far and just spammed every single person and copy and pasted a thing. But
you can't keep doing this. You can't keep sending the exact same thing to everybody.
Instagram, it didn't care at all. Like I thought I would get like filtered or flagged or whatever, but there was like no. I was really surprised because I was doing it slow at first, just like taking my time, like taking a couple breaks, and then after a while I was like, I don't think they care, and I just started spamming it to like 100 people at a time. And
anyway,
but it was really funny to see like some of them are people like, basically my thought process was like, if you ever reacted like, just laughy emoji to one of my jokes or whatever, that gives me the right to bother you. You know what I mean? And even if you ignore it, that's fine. But it was funny to see all these like people that, 3 years ago left a comment like, I'm only following you, so I can't wait to brag to my friends when you're hosting the Tonight Show someday. You're the best comic ever. And then I'm like, they don't follow me anymore. That's really nice, I'm the best comedian ever, and now you just gave up already? Like, that's really hurtful.
What was your breaking point? So I'm curious, you had some of those, but what were some of your other, like, did you get responses that you thought were funny or weird or like? I
mean, like one, I sent it to like a couple Tinder dates that like, you just haven't talked to in a year or whatever happened. And one girl just wrote LOL, and I was like, is that at the jokes or like at me in general? Like, are you laughing at me?
I had a girl who ghosted me, forgot she ghosted me, congratulated me on the special. Like nothing happened. Like you can look at the
I can
date
see
where,
I can see the message up there where I was like, are we hanging out or not?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I'm like, hey, come anytime. I'm just here with the family right now. She's supposed to come in and meet my family.
Oh man.
Ghosted me. Not kidding. I was at home visiting. She saw me like doing like video stories with my family and stuff. She's like, I want to meet your family. I'm like, I didn't know you wanted to. Of course, yeah. Come through. We had everything planned. I like bought special bread. she said, hey, I'm running late at the gym.
Stop pumpernickel, bitch.
You think I wasted poppy seed cupcake on anybody? She just I really think she forgot.
Wow.
But have you had that happen when your first special release? Did you have that happen where people, your friends, like who you hadn't heard from in forever, came out of the woodwork like, I always knew you were gonna make it? Because that's new.
Yeah. I mean, like, no. I don't think anyone was like, I knew all along. I think people were like, we had no faith in you. I think.
You heard from people that you had not heard from in a long time, right?
Most of our dry bar stuff came from people we had never heard of or known or never met.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally people will reach out that you just didn't know paid attention, or like, like whenever I got through my DM and it was like a friend, like when I go, oh, Alvin, and then I'm also like, I feel
Alvin.
bad. I haven't talked to him in like 36 weeks or whatever. No, I just mean like. I was like, I feel bad for like spamming him, but so I tried to make it like a personal, like, hey, instead of just copying pasting, I'd be like, hey buddy, hope you're well, and just ignore that I haven't messaged you in 30 weeks or whatever. But
we're comics. Like,
I know,
I don't think of that at all, man. Like when you hear from a comic, it's like we don't waste time talking with each other about meaningless stuff, like either something super funny and we just you gotta see this.
Right.
Or it's like, hey, I'm doing something super awesome.
Yeah.
Check it out. That's the only time I hear from my comic friends.
So that's what it was. I mean, like I was trying to like just reach out to people but it's surprising on both ends. There are some people that I'm like I reached out to even though we don't talk much, and I was like, "Here's my special," and they're like, "Can't wait to watch it," and then I just never hear from them, and I'm like, they hated it. But then it was like I hit you up and you're like, I'll watch it in an hour, and I was like, oh, I just meant like, when you get time or whatever.
Shared it, like no, like you're my boy, so it's like you're doing something big. Like I want to.
There was one. There was a waitress from Spokane Comedy Club that I've known her for 5 years, or not like intimately, especially not intimately, but like I've been there a bunch, and she's seen all my jokes, and I sent her a thing, and I'll check it out. And then she goes, oh, I thought you were a Trump supporter. I was really relieved. And I was like, what? Where did that come from? Like, I mean, I post some questionable articles on Facebook once in a while, but I'm just trying to have discussions over here, not trying to like.
You're impartial, and it threatens people.
Yeah, but so that was like a surprise where I was like, what vibe did I give you that you thought this guy supports Trump? Like.
Discussion.
Because all I do is post anti-Trump jokes on Facebook and fucking make fun of him every day. So, but maybe it's that impartialness.
It is. You are.
Yeah, I did grab her by the pussy, so that probably explains the.
That'll do it every time. I mean, you try to find a workaround.
Yeah, but I tried to. I know like a couple celebrities follow me that are like, we're not necessarily close, but like. I wanted to, like, Gary Goldman follows me on Twitter, which is weird because I'm like, one of my tweets just got retweeted onto his feed or whatever, but I've never DM'd him. I've just been like, please don't unfollow me. Every joke, I'm like, that's not good enough. I got to retweet it. Yeah. But, so like, like Joe List or like some other comics, I go, hey, here's my special. I hope you get it. If you get time, check it out if you like. But like, I think Gary Goldman said, like, hey, it's my policy not to watch anybody's work that's not a close personal friend. And I was like, I get it, And it also is a little bit of like, I don't want them to think that I'm using them. I don't want them to be like, oh, he's just trying to get retweets. And I'm like, well, yes, but also I just want you to like it. Like, I want you to think of me as like an excellent comedian. So.
You're such a good dude, man. Because
I don't line,
I don't care. Like I'm like, look, one message from you could change my life.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it is.
They weren't doing shit that day. Like, take it. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. Like
absolutely.
Any comic I knew, and I won't name names. Like I just like I did put it out there. Like, hey, be greatly if you like it. Yeah. It'd be great. Appreciate it if you let your peeps know. If
it was funny because when I messaged you, I was like, I felt so stupid because I was like, hey, when's yours come out? Next week, right? And you're like, no, last week. And I was like, oh, Cory said we were putting you on next week, so I just assumed. I'm like, oh, I clearly didn't look at your Instagram feed because it's all over there. Just like, oh, I've hid him for the last 5 years, but
like, so how you're doing something cool pretty soon, right?
Yeah. Something. There was some people that like refollowed me and like, that, and it's always like, do they know that I don't get enough notifications that like I see that? So yeah, I just thought that was, but I don't, I have like, I'm stuck at a certain number. I've got like, 9,970, and I'll like gain 10 in a day, and then just slowly they all unfollow me.
Don't you wonder?
It's so weird
behind it.
And going through those old messages, it's like, you're the best. I'm gonna keep my eyes out, and like, all these tons of, and like, oh, you really waited a month to get me back to Iowa, and then you just unfollowed me.
You're on TV, Chief. It's been 3 weeks. You're not gonna
exactly. You're gonna be on Fallon any day now, Yeah.
I'm behind you because you got nearly 10,000. I've got like 25 or 21. Sorry, 2150.
Okay. That's great.
When you lose 10, that's like me losing 1. It's the same. It's kind of like 1 loss in NFL. It's like 8 losses in the NBA.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It's the same thing. It's like
It hurts that much more.
Yeah, because you lose one follower, you're like, meh. But
Yeah, whatever.
You're like, whoa, hey, that seems to be that's a thing. That's how I feel with one person.
And it is different on every app too, because like Instagram, for some reason, it feels more personal because I post.
Absolutely, it does.
Facebook, I have 20,000, so I'm like, I don't even give a shit. People are like, if you don't stop posting about the election, I'm like, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit.
I got 19,
like Instagram, I'm like, please stick around. I need your numbers. You know.
Well, my Instagram followers are still people I've actually met, or talked to.
Me too. Yeah.
That's why it feels more personal to me. And I downloaded an app to see, because I started a podcast where I was interviewing strippers for a while. Stripper Whisper, it's fun, and I just wanted to see, like, because those posts weren't doing super well either. So I was like, I wonder if I'm, with Dry Bar and what, I wonder if there are people. So I'll keep an eye. And then I just had to delete the app. I was like, I keep.
Oh yeah.
Like, who unfollowed me, and I'm like, my feelings are getting hurt. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would you?
I know some people get notifications when people unfollow. I don't fuck with any of that. Like, even my special, I'm like looking at analytics, and I'm like, average watch time is 8 minutes and 30 seconds. What the fuck? You guys give up so quickly, or like,
it's too
when
much.
you can see it graph down, and it's like, oh,
hurts my ego.
8 minutes in 2020 though.
Yeah, I mean,
come on. That's like
I watched it last night. I couldn't get 3 minutes into it, so that's good. But I was like, wow, these people are right. I am bombing. This is awful. Like an old friend I hadn't talked to in like 5 years. She sent me a text. It was like, rough audience at the start there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it seems like it's going fine. And then I rewatch it. I'm like, oh, yeah, she's right. I hate myself. I'm an idiot. I'm gay.
I realize that I don't know why they don't put this 2 and 2 together, but obviously you filmed it within the last.
Oh yeah, I'm like, it's 80 people spread out,
right.
So it's not gonna sound like it's a packed house, but I
don't know why they don't get that, but
I don't know.
If you want the full negligence experience, go to my special.
I was worried about I was worried that I was gonna get a lot of like. Because I have some friends that are super virtue signally and like Steve Hofstetter, for example, is like not toured at all, and he can tour, but he set up like his Nowhere Club and he, and he like he just reached out on his own. He was like, "This joke is great, man. You're hilarious." And I was like, "Oh, you're not even like, you killed my grandma and you're a piece of shit," and like no one cared, or they just didn't say anything.
Steve's a good dude, man. He's a good dude.
Locked and loaded, ready to respond to anybody who says that stuff. I haven't had to yet, so I'm good. But it's like my locked and loaded response is, my car that I had for 10 years and 310,000 miles went kaput, so I bought one that I had to buy. I just got audited by the IRS for 2017, and they want $4,500 more. My job doesn't exist. My other job doesn't exist. So do you have any ideas?
Yeah.
You got some ideas? We'll do it. But
I'm like, hey, my roommate hasn't paid rent in 6 months, but so I'm the only one keeping this household afloat. But sure, we'll all go fuck ourselves and live under a bridge or something,
Not the gigs we choose. So whatever. I don't know. It's just a hard thing to I don't know how people. I don't understand how people who can't work from home and have kids that are school age are doing it. I don't even know.
It's rough. All you can do is pay a little more, tip a little more, be a little nicer.
Yeah. I always hit the 20% button at Subway. I'm that kind of guy.
You tip at Subway.
Well, you put your credit card in and it pops up, and I feel guilty going, no. Fuck you! I'm hitting no tip.
Yeah, you don't want to stop domestic abuse.
Yeah.
That's the worst one.
Put a penny in the jar to save the children.
It's the domestic abuse one for me, because there are women in line. They heard that. Like, I know he said no. It's the way he said no.
You want to donate $1 to battered women? Not really.
Hell no. Like, you don't have to yell it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey,
Money to my
keep your
ex-wife.
voice down.
Wait,
Yeah,
what? Well, it'd be if that woman was standing behind the register. Just
Yeah.
the subway
Do you want
guy.
to help battered women? Me specifically? My husband beats me.
I want to say, all they have to do when you say no is go, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
You pay. The second time, you're an asshole. The second time,
Yeah.
like you're like,
Most guys have switched to like not making their employees say it and just having it pop up on the screen.
Right.
Some
They
sort
used to like
no
you
shame in
hang
that.
up you fill out a boot and you
gotta
paste it on the
shame.
wall with your name or whatever.
or just have like you know how remember when we were chipping or swiping, like, and that buzzer went off, so you knew the person didn't put it. It's like you can do that. Yeah, it's like
Oh, I got
no, that
declined.
means
I guess we can't.
that's a good noise, like,
Yeah.
but it sounds bad. It sounds like I did
Yeah.
something.
Alvin said,
What is
The
it?
person
The Deal or
behind
No
you
Deal?
can
The
win.
big light up board. America's Got Talent. Simon Cowell pops up. Wow, the most despicable thing I've ever seen in my life.
I was thinking Family Feud because of.
Oh yeah, Family Feud. There you go.
Yeah, which my dad watches in like is. After you turn 60, are you just supposed to watch Family Feud all day?
I don't. Yeah, maybe. Just wish for your family to come around.
Maybe, yeah. Wish your family would visit you, get along with each other.
My mom and dad, they do the Family Feud, and I think it's Steve Harvey related,
Okay.
you know, but I can't prove that. I just know it's on all the time, and I hear
Well,
that song.
You could pass for a Steve Harvey on Halloween if you wanted to, you know.
Wanted to is the key.
Yeah. So maybe they're
Yeah,
like, this is what our son is gonna do in the future, you know? Because wasn't he a comedian, maybe, or I don't know. He started in stand up, maybe. Sure. Alvin's gonna host a game show someday.
Yeah, they are signaling, aren't they? I think it's an idea, but they've been grooming me this whole time.
Wow, grooming.
They,
Your dad is Chris D'Elia. That's crazy.
You know, grooming has such a negative stereotype like attached to it now. Grooming used to be a good thing when you groom somebody to do something, but like that became a term for the bad stuff.
Used to be what we do to our beards, and not anymore.
Yeah, our dogs. We groom dogs. No.
The Family Feud in recent years has gone to the whole their business model. Just ask the craziest questions to get the craziest answers. To get a video out of it, like that's just the whole show. And my good family friends from growing up were on the show, and he has one of the most viral videos because in final Family Feud, whatever that round is at the end, they go, name a body part that starts with T, and he goes, titties. No hesitation, and then Harvey, because it's that round where he's reading them all off, you know, so he's like, all right, and then he goes through, and at the end he's like, titties, you didn't even hesitate. And he's like, my favorite part. I don't know.
First thing that popped into my brain, man. Yeah.
Triceps, toes.
First thing that popped into my mouth.
Yummy.
I didn't even come up with that. I didn't even have like an answer. I like to play along. It's fun.
Maybe it could be like toes, and you're like, Cory's really kinky.
Like when I watched him, I'm like, I wouldn't have been. Like, I'm like answering 10 seconds later. I'm like, she should have said this. And it's like, she had a minute, and you're like,
there's lights and cameras, and your dad is watching you, going, "Don't disappoint the family," you know.
There's $20,000 on the line with your whole family.
Remember when we paid for your college? This is payback.
Yeah, I don't think I'd remember my own joke.
Yeah.
On the line with my family there live.
Do your parents come watch you do comedy once in a while, or?
They do, but I have a rule that they have to sit in the back of the room. Like if you're in the front, it's just not the same when I can't.
Isn't it weird that we're like, personally, we're so fine telling all details of our life to complete strangers. We'll talk about our dicks. We'll talk about whatever.
Yeah.
But as soon as you see someone you know, you're like, oh God, please don't talk about this later.
The first time that I ever got to do Zanies in Chicago, my family was super proud of me, and they bought so many tickets, and the whole front row was my family. And I didn't know until I got on stage.
Oh,
That
man.
was the most awkward. Like,
Makes
what?
crowd work super easy. Hey, what do you do for a living, Dad?
Yeah, I can't look at them. I can hear them. I can hear their laughs.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the room, and I'm fine with that. And it feels fine.
How's everybody doing tonight? I did a show in Connecticut. Most of my family lives within like 2 hours of each other on the East Coast. And there was a comedy club out there that I was like, hey, let's work out like a 50-50 door deal because I can get like 30 people in. And, if you guys get 30 people, then we'll have 60 people. It'll be a great show. And then literally it was like my 30 people that I'm related to and then like 4 random people.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I just gave you 50% of the money. Like, I could have performed in my grandpa's basement and like,
hey, my last album, that was the first line I said was, we could have did this shit at the crib. Like that was yeah, that's awkward. It's like, I want your support, but I want stranger support more, and I don't know what that means.
And Alvin's dad, by the way, looks a lot like Alvin, but just like 7 years older.
So 32?
That's a compliment to him, not
Black don't crack.
But tell me, I think, and this happened with you two there.
Yeah.
There was a woman who was like, I never made the connection that you're Alvin's son. I'm like, really? Me, Alvin Williams Jr. with the same face, and the only other Black person you saw here. You just never, like, did you not make the connection, or did you make it so fast that you're like, no, that can't be right. That's wrong of me to make that connection.
I think.
Yeah.
People sometimes go like, I didn't know you were Bob Rivers' son. And I was like, the last name gives it away, but whatever.
Man, you're looking more and more like your pops lately.
It's getting a little. It's always been the facial structure, but now, I mean, especially because the hair is growing out and
it's the hair. The hair's sitting like that. That's Daddy's boy, man. Yep. Like y'all like.
Unfortunately, cannot contest the results of that erection.
I go through it. I go through the same thing that you go through. Yeah. Cory's just independently sexy. I don't know what his pop is like.
My dad, he's cute. He's all right. Whatever. I don't know. I look like my grandpa. But
look like your grandpa.
I look like
because he's bald already.
Well, he's decrepit.
He didn't get bald till he was 70, but you were an overachiever.
Yeah, my dad has a full head of hair. It's real thin, but it's a nice little puff on top, and he still gets it cut, and it looks good. Me and my brother, bald as a baby's ass, and
question.
I haven't seen a lot of babies' asses. I just assume. I don't know why.
But I'm the one I've seen.
Cory knows a lot about grooming babies' asses.
When did you go bald, Cory? How?
24, 25. I was fine. It was fine, but it was like a little like in this area.
Power alleys.
Yeah. And I didn't have any facial hair. I wasn't growing facial hair. I had to shave, and I just felt like it was like John Roy joke of like, I can't wear a V-neck. That is too much skin. And then he has the other joke is like he looks like the default character on a Nintendo Wii, just like
yeah.
So I was like, I can't do all that. And then I grew a beard, and then my wife at the time was like, oh, I like that. That looks good. I like that. And I was like, oh, well then if I do this, I can get rid of this. So I just made about 27 to start cutting it real tight, and then shaving it. But it was 24. It was receding, thin, and it's all front for me. There's no like, if I grew, it would be full all the way. It'd be a cul-de-sac, of thin, really thin, but it would grow.
I was 20.
Oh wow, that's young.
I didn't finish college. Like, girls didn't believe I was the age I was saying, and did I date girls all to my 20s? Yes. Was it my choice? No. Like nobody believed me.
Hi there, fellow kids. You're like that meme trying to fit in. I have a skateboard. And they're like, we don't believe you, Alvin.
And
Old
you're
as
not
fuck.
old enough to get into the bars to be too old.
Yeah. You're like, look at my ID right here.
That's actually
Cory, we
out
fucking
like
had a whole bunch of incidents in Phoenix because he forgot his ID and he couldn't get into bars, and he just kept being like, I mean, come on.
But that makes it look like you got kicked out of the bar. Like you're not even allowed there because you hit on all the young women so much that they like.
Word must have got around, yeah.
Yeah, I had whatever. My license expired, so I had the printout renewal before they sent me the real one, but I had them both, and I was like, these two combined should be, and they were like, nope, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And then I was a dick, but yeah.
And then they called the cops, and he's like, where can I stand over here? Where's the line? They're like, you just need to clear the property. And he's like, I stand in the parking lot? And they're like, fine, I guess. Can you just leave? He's like, no, I want to be a dick now.
You all hang out so much, you already know, like, Cory's got game, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in awe of this dude, man. It's just like, he's on a whole different level.
It's just some natural aura. They just flock to him.
Yeah, I don't
get stuff. Like, I watched, I was like, oh, like, wow. I was impressed, man.
Well, what are you going to do?
He doesn't even have to try. It's pretty good.
You just the pheromones, right? It's just I don't wear deodorant, and
I tried that in college. It didn't work out for me.
Funny. So you, I mean, what's your plan going forward here, just comedy-wise? I'm curious with this. Are you just gonna? Because you said so you're in Boise right now, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just hanging out, or?
Yeah, I'm in Idaho, so this is the state I got to be in to collect unemployment. So, no, I just I want to push this special as much as I can and see what opportunities are new that it takes me. I'm gonna be a keynote speaker at a summit out in Utica.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I may go that route as far as just sharing my life experiences and stuff until the road can happen again, because I've made the choice. Like, I don't want to do ships anymore.
Okay.
I just don't. Not with the way that the environment is right now with COVID and everything. Like, it's gonna be a while before they get that together again. So I don't want to be out there like how people got stranded out there for months. I know
Kirsten Key was on one of those boats.
Yeah. They put her in the hotel for 2 weeks and stuff, even after they got back on land. And
she's like watching Trump on television go, fuck him, leave him out there. And she's like, I mean, all right, thanks.
I can't do it. So it's just like I've rededicated to going back on the road when it's time. So, I'll do whatever I have to be safe. But I mean, the road is calling me again, man. So that's what I'll be doing. And
you basically lived on ships the last couple years, right?
Yeah, I was homeless for six years.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it's been wonderfully beneficial as far as saving. But I really want to. I think I want to do a special next year and bring it out in 2024.
Yeah, it takes a while. I have a special I filmed in February, luckily, right before all this, and then I signed a deal with a record label, but they don't email me at all, and they were like, we're going to put it out in January, and I'm like, okay, what are you going to name it? Because I didn't even send you anything, but people don't like to email me back.
Lucky that you had content recorded before all this happened, man. Like,
I'm telling you.
I'm so great. If
one of the things about being groomed by Hofstetter, is that
groomed.
It really taught me of like, you gotta have stuff, and then you gotta have like a library of content already.
Yes.
Because then, like, this special, for some reason, like, I mean, it's already at 12,000 views, which is amazing, and it's
wonderful.
more than I expected because I only have 3,000 YouTube subscribers or whatever. And so, it's sort of gaining some natural traction, which is awesome. But now I'm like, even if some people are like, some comments are like, oh, you're, one of the comments that just happened was like, oh, your delivery could use work or whatever, but the jokes are amazing. And I'm like, dude, I don't get to perform. Like this is the second time I've told these jokes to an audience, So like,
yes, the delivery.
But hopefully they go look at the other videos and be like, oh, when he is allowed to work on his craft, then it's usually really good.
And you know what? The audience members are rusty too. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Haven't been outside in a long time in the shows.
Yeah.
Get their act.
There's a few jokes where they get a little, whoa, and I'm like, what? Can we just? You're gonna die from coming here. Can we just have a good time?
Yeah, you took the risk. Enjoy it. Bask in it.
Yeah, love it.
Well, shit, man. You got to get to dinner, and
I do.
Comedy, and Andrew's got to take a nap. So I mean, or I don't know what he's doing.
I'm just hanging out with my nieces. This is really funny. My niece has a unicorn, like a stuffed unicorn toy, and she drew a vagina on it.
Oh.
Like really interesting. It's
Where
really
at? In the right place?
On the bottom is really anatomically. It's a better job than I would have done. Trying to draw a vagina. That's what is it? Somewhere over here. It's been a long time.
I once saw somebody draw. They drew a penis on the back of a car in the dirt that was on the back of the car.
Oh yeah.
So authentic, like you couldn't even get mad. Like you're just like, good job, I guess. Like, I mean, it's
hair,
on
the
car. Yeah.
If you didn't want a dick on your car, maybe you should have washed it earlier.
It was so well done. It's like the artist like really cared about the
Banksy who came to your
yeah, there's no lecture here, like, hey man, like you let art happen, like art happens,
Yeah, I believe it. Well, roger that. Check out Alvin Williams, alvinwilliams.com probably, I'm sure. There you go. alvinwilliamscomedy.com.
Yeah.
And go to Amazon. There was some issue when I clicked the link. It took me to a thing that said it's not allowed in your neighborhood or whatever. But
it's gone now.
Okay,
all
cool.
good now. Yeah. So
yeah,
let's go to
great special. I like thematic specials. I like the art behind it because it felt like you opened with like everything's fucked and this is all bad. And in the middle, you kind of sort of gave the premise of like it's gonna get better and there's hope. And then at the end, you talked about your personal, like how you got through some shitty times with your family or whatever.
Yeah.
And like as a lesson, like, hey, we can all get through. It's gonna get better. And it was beautifully done, man. It was great. I enjoyed it, and it was fun watch. And I was jealous of all the crowds and laughter.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna take some of that audio and put it on my special, but.
And Cory said he's going to get around to watching it, so that's cool.
Yeah, he'll get, he's so busy, and
I watched the trailer and I was like, this isn't my kind of thing.
It's Black Lives Matter, boy. It's getting real racial up in here, so.
Check that out on Amazon. Andrew's is on YouTube. Alvin will have some outtakes on his YouTube soon. That'll be fun. I'm Cory Michaelis Comedy on all the things. Andrew J. Rivers on all the things. Alvin Williams Comedy on all the things, or just your website?
Just the website. My Instagram is Comic Alvin Williams.
Switching it up.
Well, this has been great. Appreciate having you. I mean, if we'll have you back in the future because you laugh at the things we say.
And we'll reunite soon in Moscow again too, brother.
Yeah. I want to do that. I was about to be the replacement headliner, and then all this shit got canned. So
yeah. No, I got you guys. You know that. So
not worried about it. We'll figure it out. Hey, man, great to see you. Great to catch up. Congrats on the special. It's amazing.
Thank you.